Buddha Shakyamuni's symbol of his dharma, if there is symbol or a logo, if there's one, it is the wheel. Because wheel is something that goes round and round and round. So similarly, it means that if we are able to understand why we go round and round in the sixth realm, then we will be able to break out of that cyclic existence. Samsara, the samsara or these six realms are called the possibility, sitpa. Sitpa means possibility. The whole sixth realm are called the possibility because anything is possible in this world. It is possible that there are people born with two heads, two bodies joined together, 4 arms. People are born from first who is poor becomes rich, rich becomes poor, who is not famous becomes successful, who is not successful, who is successful become unsuccessful. And then you have buildings also, for example, you have buildings which are, I think in Taiwan they're 101, now there's another taller building. Singapore they have this, 3 buildings on the top, they put a boat, Anything is possible in this world. Why? Everything is possible because everything is a result of the cause and condition. If things were not a result of karma, action, but has its own identity, then its identity will be fixed. For example, if milk was something, for example, if something has its own inherent identity, not dependent on condition, milk will never change to cheese, will never change to butter, never change to ice cream. Right? But because so-called milk has no identity, when the cause and condition of it to become milk, the cow eat the grass, then the cow's digestion, whatever, it becomes milk. And then you add something, you churn it, you create the karma of the butter, which is like this. You churn it becomes butter. And on top of that, then you do something else, it becomes curd, it becomes ice cream, it becomes tofu, it can become, it can be cottage cheese. And your cottage cheese will be sweet and sour, Instead of the normal taste, you can add something else and suddenly it has changed. It has become something else, little bit different kind of cottage cheese. You are creating this flour, and now I think Japanese, there's a technology, kind of technique, not technology, technique where you cut the flower of a stem of a different flower and you put it, and in one flower there will be 2 different color. It's possible because everything is result of cause and condition and nothing has fixed identity inherently existing. If something inherently existing, then you cannot change it. It cannot be changed. So anyway, the 6 realms are called the world of possibility. There's a hell realm where beings experience being burnt, being frozen. Hungry ghost realm where some hungry ghosts are supposed to roam the human realm. Some hungry ghosts are said to have their own world where they're born with it is said that certain hungry ghosts have mouth like a pinhole, and then the throat like a needle, and stomach like a mountain, So where they can't find anything to eat. When they can eat, they can't pass through their throat. Once it goes into their stomach, it disappears. They can't feel anything. And whenever they see food, they feel that it is protected by somebody, or the food becomes into fire, the fire, it becomes into something dirty that you cannot touch. And then the animal realm have suffering or being killed, skinned alive, sold, used, eaten by each other. And human realm have various suffering or being born. Right? Suffering or birth is something that most people I think do not seem to really, most of us I think are not very familiar with. It is said that when the first, I can't remember the detail, but when human beings are first formed, it is said to be something like a curd. And then when the 4 limbs, when the limbs come out, the feeling of the child goes through is said to be like a strong man is pulling all your limbs, a 10 strong men pulling your limbs. And when the mother is having too much of food, you feel like being squeezed. When mother's stomach is empty, you feel like being dangled from the cliff for hours and hours. When mother jumps up and down, you feel like you are being thrown. And then at the end of the day, when your mother gives a natural birth, it is said both mother and the child go through half step to the door of the death. And it's said that except for certain part of a joint, most of the mother, the body joint kind of opens up in order to give birth. And then when you give birth, I haven't really, I have so little bit here. It is said that, I don't know, usually I believe baby has some sort of membrane covering the baby. When you take that off, they feel like, your skin's being peeled off. And even though you are kept in a very soft cloth by the nurse, no matter how soft normal cloth is, it cannot be more soft than a mother's womb. So you feel like someone is scraping your bare skin, with the sandpaper. And then whenever you want to see, and for the 9 months, basically you have set in a very dark place, full of the fear. It is said that if we can only remember the suffering we went through when we were in the mother's womb, we will never ever want to take birth. These are advice that Guru Padmasambhava gave when he was about to depart the Himalaya for the copper-colored mountain. He talked about all the 6 realms have their own suffering. So that is why, we should have the sense of liberation to ourselves and others. When you become older, you cannot get what you want. What you have to worry about losing it. If you are too powerful, too popular, then, some people up there will make sure you push you down. They will not let you go up too easily. Yeah? And if you are nobody, then everybody is bullying you. So again, you have a trouble. And if you have no children, Guru Padma, I remember very clearly that, Guru Padmasambhava said, if you have no children, then you are suffering because you have no children. If you have children, you are suffering because your children are not listening to you at all. And you have to worry about, I remember very funnily, I remember, if you are a mother-in-law, you have to worry that all your accumulated wealth, maybe your daughter-in-law will take away. And if there are daughter-in-laws here, please do not be upset with me. I'm just repeating what Guru Padmasambhava said. And then, and then when you get old, once you get old, weak, you may be the most smartest. You used to be the smartest, the most respected. Certainly your voice, you have no standing in the society. Even within your own family, starts to feel ashamed of you. Even though you are someone who is very dainty and diligent. Then the fear of death, losing one's loved ones. But I remember Guru Padmasambhava said that, even though you yourself do not know where you are going after you die, you still want to call people to your bed and give them advice, And you call it dead-bed advice, You don't know where you're going, but you want to give advice to other people, So and then we are, anyway, then there's the human realm suffering, and then the demigod realm demigods are full of jealousy. Compared to us human beings, they live longer, they are much more wealthier, luxurious life. But like all the people who are jealous, whenever we are jealous, we are usually comparing to people who have much more than us. We don't compare to, shouldn't be jealous. I may not have much, but compared to people who have nothing to eat, no home, people in a certain part of the world who are 35-year-old but look like 8-year-old because they have nothing to eat. There are people I saw, they are eating earth, in the earth. I think certain part of Africa, I think I saw. They are eating earth. They put salt into the earth and make it into a bread and they eat, because of, the hunger. So compared to that, most of us, we have problem with too much eating. We don't know how to go on a diet is our problem. So but when we do not compare, but we always have comparison to much more than us, right? If you are millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, etc. So because of and once we have the jealousy, it destroys all the happiness that we have right now. Maybe you are happy with your wife, people. Maybe you are happy with your husband, your home, your car. But the moment you have jealousy, and when you come back home, your home will certainly look shabby, Yesterday it looked like very nice, but compared to that person, I wasted my life. I'm such an unsuccessful person. My wife is not very beautiful. Or maybe she's beautiful, but look at his wife. Beautiful and intelligent, My wife is a bit dumb, My husband is very kind, but, very stupid, very, You may, but because we don't realize that in other person, everybody in the world has certain good qualities, bad quality. Other person, husband or house may have certain positive thing, but they have also their own challenges. But the moment you have a jealousy, everything you have suddenly starts to lose value, lose joy. Right? So similarly, when we do good deeds in our life, but we infuse with the jealousy, then we are born into the demigod realm. And they are always comparing themselves to the God. So they have to fight, they have to, to go through war and jealousy. Nothing gives them joy. They have everything, but they're always comparing themselves. And then I guess in a way, if you want a very modern word, I guess we can say the demigods are depressed, Because when we check Instagram, we feel comparison. Comparison makes us feel depressed, So the same thing, I think. Basically, this is a new word, I guess, Next time we can send a psychologist to demigod realm. Because they're depressed because of jealousy and comparison. And then the God realm are said to be, they have a very enjoyable life, very luxurious life. But, and I think our 1,000 human days are supposed to be one day in the God realm. And they are surrounded by beautiful gods and goddesses in the palaces, endless joys and pleasure. But 7 days before they die, then they're able to see where they're going to be reborn. And then when they see that from a God realm, from the, from the top executive life, suddenly you're on the street. From a God realm, you're going to become a pig and be eaten by, eaten as a char siu, It's a big suffering. And then when the time for death comes, it is said your body starts to smell. Then suddenly your wife starts to leave you, And other gods also start to leave you. I guess it's like saying, now you are no longer member of our exclusive club, Your membership has been cancelled. And if you are someone who has been very proud of your membership of that exclusive club, the ego is going to have pride is going to have a terrible time. How many people, when they lose the executive position, kill themselves because they cannot face, because the pride is so much. And when we do good deeds infused with the pride is the karma where you are born into the God realm. There's a story that one of the Buddha's, I think is a nephew, if I remember correctly, or cousin, called Chungao. He recently got married, and then Buddha Shakyamuni, and he was very much in love with his wife, and his honeymoon was never ending. He was in honeymoon all the time. And then the Buddha went there and asked Gao, give me, and then usually Buddha goes to offer lunch, ask lunch. So after he offered the lunch, and then Buddha went, and when Buddha went back, usually he takes back his bowl, but he didn't take that time, so Gao had no choice but to follow the Buddha. And back to his home, back to Buddha's temple, and Buddha said, Gao, do you want to be a monk? Bhikkhu. And he said, he didn't want to, but he said, yes, Buddha. He couldn't say no. Yes, Lord Buddha, yes, sure. And then he was made Buddha, but he was, and I guess he kept the precepts, etc. But he was the most terrible monk in the entire community. Always looking very depressed and always looking towards where his wife's house is, and when can I go there? So then he was very depressed. So then Buddha said, Gao, let's go to today. I'll go teaching in the God realm. Let's go there. And then Buddha said, he said, okay, yeah, of course, Lord Buddha, I will serve you. And then when they were passing by, they saw a very old lady, very, very old, and then with the wrinkles and the dark and the dirty. So Buddha asked him, Gao, whose wife is more beautiful, you or that old lady? And he said, Lord Buddha, are you joking? My wife is 100 times more beautiful. Then he went up to the God realm, and then while Buddha was giving teaching, he was roaming around, wandering around. And then he saw a beautiful palace with 32 or 40 beautiful goddesses waiting, And they were so beautiful, beyond imagination. Human beauty cannot compare to the, I think it's the Naga beauty, if I remember, or demigod. And demigod's beauty cannot compare to the God realm because of the karma, accumulation of merit. No matter Miss Universe we have in human realm, cannot compare to the gods and goddesses' beauty. So he was so, enamored. He was he forgot his wife, maybe for the first time. And then when they were coming back, Buddha asked him, your wife is beautiful or the goddesses are beautiful? And he said, oh Lord Buddha, you must be joking, These goddesses are 1,000 times more beautiful than my wife, My wife is like that old lady we saw, she's so ugly. And then, and then he asked, why is there no God in this palace? And they said, the Buddha's cousin is right now, practicing the bhikshu. So, we are waiting for him, because of his karma of being a good bhikshu. He's going to be born, because I guess he didn't really have aspiration to get enlightened. You can do good deed and you can dedicate to anything. You can dedicate to born into the God realm. So he said, that's why we are waiting to welcome him. He's going to come here soon. And he was so happy, he was beaming, And then he come back, and then later he came down, and then he was the most diligent monk, He used to get up the most early, In all the puja, he'll be the first to come, and the last to leave. He was so diligent. And then, but all other monks, they used to kind of criticize him. Look at this guy. He's doing the practice only to be gone into the, to meet the goddesses. And then one day Buddha said, let's go to the hell realm to give some teaching. And then Buddha and then while Buddha was busy with others, and then suddenly he saw many people being tortured and, boiled. And there was one big, kind of a boiling cauldron that was empty. And he asked, why is this empty? Then they said, the Buddha's cousin Gao, He's doing the practice right now. So, but he's practiced not for enlightenment, but for the samsara. So after his good karma, he'll go to heaven. He will stay there for 1,000 years. And before that, he has done many other bad deeds, karma. So after heaven, he is going to come here. We are preparing the hot water for him. Then he was so scared that they might recognize him, put him before his time. He went looking for the Buddha. And then he went to back to the realm. And then he practiced. Whatever he practiced was the same, but the motivation was different. Then he wanted to become enlightened. He wanted to realize his nature of the mind, So when we talk of this sixth realm, do this realm exist? Inherently exist. Now Theravada traditions say that yes, there is place like this, and that there, the people who torture you, etc. But the Mahayana, in the Shantideva, Buddha said very clearly, Buddha said very clearly that who is the company that made all the iron house and all this, in the hell realm? Who are these animals? These are nothing other than your own negative karma. Because of your negative cause condition, it makes us experience them. It makes us experience hell. It makes us see. For example, because of our karma within this world, when you have a schizophrenia disease, for them what they see, what they experience is as real as what we are seeing. Even what we are seeing right now, how real is it? That is something is debatable. Right? Are we seeing this right now because it exists, or are we seeing the human realm because our karma is to see the human realm? This is something we need to really analyze ourselves. As I mentioned, the eagle can see only black and white because he has only condition to see and that. Nowadays, I read somewhere in some article that, at the what they call the proton, neutron, quartz level, the subatomic level, they call it, if I remember correctly, they call it observer effect. When you observe certain particle, they behave differently. When you are not that observed, they behave differently. So there's some sort of theory among, if I understand correctly, the scientific community that the world is created by our perception. Rather than saying world created us, that our perception has created this world. And in our Buddhist teaching, if we say that if there's a food in front of you, water in front of you, a God will see it as a nectar, demigod will see it as a weapon, human will see it as a water, animal will see it as a home, fish will see it as a home. And the hungry ghost will see it as a blood and pus. Hell realm will see it as a fire, burning lava, etc. Right? So anyway, these are something that we have to analyze ourselves. But anyway, so when we talk of we say the Why we are in the sixth realm? We say the six realms are there because of the karma, action of our body, speech, and the mind. Why do we do this action? Because of the desire, right? If we have no desire, we will not do anything. We will not eat meat. We will not do shopping. We will not kill. We will not steal. We will nothing. If somebody did not prevent us from getting us our desire, we will not be angry. Right? So all the negative things we do, actions we do, basically all the action, I won't say negative, is because we are influenced by desire. Why do we have a desire? We have a desire because of the true ignorance. I will say outer and inner ignorance. Outer ignorance is we do not understand that what we, as is said in the 37 practices of Bodhisattva, we do not understand that what appears to be beautiful, pleasant, unpleasant is our own reflection. Our own concepts are like a mirror, and our experiences are like the reflection in the mirror. If we have a concept that something is wonderful, then you will see that person or object as a wonderful. If you have a concept that that person is negative, that experience is negative, that place is negative, you will reflection that you will get back is also will be negative.